Friday, October 10th. Welcome on back to Damon Bruce Plus. It's great to have you here. Sammy will be joining us in just a little while, but thank you so much for being here today. Yesterday, friend in town went to brunch. I'm my own boss, and I gave myself the day off. Great decision. We both earned it. Hopefully you had a great day. Thanks for being back here today. Obviously, huge game for the 49ers is around the corner. We're going to talk all about that in just a second. While you are getting ready for your big NFL college football weekend, I will be encouraging you to check out Ike Sandwiches this weekend. If you've never had an Ike sandwich, this is the perfect weekend to get an Ike sandwich. It's around the corner. It's the time to do it. Oh my goodness. Hopefully it's around the corner for you. And look at this. My boy's about to turn 18 years old on October 31st. Ike's turns 18. Oh my gosh, time flies. I've been with my man for about 16 of those 18 years. So I'm so proud of him, man. It's just fantastic. Congratulations to Ike's for almost turning 18, and get yourself to an Ike sandwich shop. Hopefully there will be one near you soon if there isn't one already. Our friends at the Dubliner, thank you so very much. They just hosted us for a Plus Mania. That was fantastic. We had a great time. And let me tell you, I always have a good time when I dabble over on Sleeper. I had some playoff dabbling yesterday, and I did get a Tyler Glasnow total innings prop wrong, which kind of screwed up what otherwise would have been a great ticket. Sleeper is an awful lot of fun. Go ahead and check it out. You're going to have a good time. Use the promo code Damon on the link that is in the top of the description of this video and get $100 off your first deposit up to $100. Thanks again to Sleeper for being a great sponsor this football season. And right now, I need to let you know that you can get a $20 entry free, no deposit required, no nothing. There you go. You can just click on it. You get the promo code on Sleeper right now. Thank you very, very much to Sleeper, to all of you, and let's hop right into it. I mean, we got ourselves pole position. That's what's on the line in Tampa Bay. It's pole position. I don't want to hear anything about one seeds. We haven't even gone trick-or-treating yet. It's too early to be talking about any sort of seeding. I want you to think of this as a race. It's a long race. It's the Indianapolis 500. Right now, the 49ers are on the lead lap. They can have pole position of the lead lap even with a loss on Sunday. I would consider them still on the lead lap, considering everything that they have been through to get to this point. And thanks to Jackson Dart being the new Joe Namath of New York City, and oh my gosh, Scatabo looked fantastic. They're excited about him. The New York Giants beat the Eagles. It's panic in Philadelphia. The Eagles have fallen to 4-2. But the Eagles have now lost a couple in a row, and that is, it always gets everybody's attention. Bad day for Philadelphia. Ask the Phillies, ask the Flyers. It was 0-3, which is a good reason why we're going to need Sam here a little bit later on. I'm sure he knows all about that. Thanks to the New York freaking Giants. Thanks to the New York Giants of all teams, of all people. The 49ers are in great position going to Tampa Bay. With as disjointed a roster from an injury standpoint as you're going to find in all of football, in injuries that have been plaguing the team since before training camp even started. The 49ers really have a shot to qualify here with a win in Tampa as the single best story in football. Like, it doesn't matter how it happened or why it's happening anymore, or us complaining that it is happening. The fact that it would be happening, that they would be this well positioned given all of the moving parts, it would be really an extraordinary start to the season for the 49ers, to the point where it is the best story in football. What more do you want? Completely banged up, not supposed to be here right now team is here. That's about as good as it gets. So the 49ers, call it culture, call it coaching. I know a lot of people who don't like Kyle Shanahan never want to say it's coaching when things are going right. But things are going right for the 49ers. We criticize the hell out of John Lynch and so many missed draft picks. And look, we can always be able to play that Well, had he not missed these draft picks, what would it have been? Yes. What would have that trip to, the nude beach been if she had walked up to you, kissed you right on your lips and said, "You are the one. Thank you so much for being here today." Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of what might have been if everything had gone perfect. But nothing goes perfect in sports, and nothing has gone perfect for the 49ers. And in their most imperfect year, they're showing they're deeper than we thought they were. They're showing that they basically roll out of bed and produce a certain amount of numbers and yardage no matter what, no matter who's out there, which is really something else. As long as Christian McCaffrey's out there, by the way, because he really is the straw that stirs the drink. And in that, let me just wish all of you again, good morning, welcome, brunch time, if you will, here on the Plus. If you are on the East Coast, it's in your afternoon. If you're live with us here on the West Coast, no matter where you are in between, please hit like, please hit subscribe. It's wonderful to have you here, and a little sip of the day for everybody. Cheers. Very nice. Very, very nice. All right. It's all built on a string. It's all dangling. It's all angling completely from a string. And this team is officially, as great as everything looks right now, as happy as everyone is right now, as great as it all is, this team is one play away from Adrian Martinez playing a very significant role in our lives. Brock Purdy is not playing yet, and we don't know exactly when Brock Purdy will be playing. I mean, it's the best news of the week, I guess, is that he's not going on IR. Okay. That sounds more like he is going to miss a couple of weeks, maybe not a month, to me. So, we basically just watched Mac Jones kind of get the stuffing beat out of him. We know that Adrian Martinez should be a little bit more coached up if he is thrown into this situation, because you had a practice this week where Mac Jones wasn't even throwing. Like, that's how banged up he was. Now, he is the projected starter in Tampa. I don't want to be the guy who says, well, it doesn't matter who's starting, because it does matter who's starting. But Mac Jones has given us no reason to doubt him, his skill level, his ability, his comfortability in the offense right now, and his comfort in the offense right now, comfortability. Dangling. But he's so comfortable out there, and he just proved himself tough as nails. That, yeah, you go with him as long as you can. But Adrian Martinez got first and second team reps with the 49ers offense. So God forbid you got to go there. He will hopefully be a little bit better. Look, Juwan Jennings was limited in practice. Who knows if he is going game day? They say Ricky Pearsall is not. That's, not great. We'll see if Yetur Gross-Matos actually goes in this game. I know I just switched the topic to defense, and we'll get there in a second. But, this offense, not just whistling into the game, no problems. There's problems everywhere, but they have produced and they have done an incredible job. And Christian McCaffrey is one of the best football players you're ever going to watch in your life. I mean, he really is. Christian McCaffrey is one of the best football players you will ever watch in your life. That it really isn't an exaggeration as to who he is, as to what he does. This guy, because there is really no running game popping, which is kind of the most amazing thing about all of this. Like, all right, so everything's going wrong for the 49ers. You've lost your best defensive lineman for the year. You are down injuries everywhere in your passing game. Well, how are you winning right now? The passing game? It's not the running game you're relying on? No, not at all. The 49ers running game has yet to even join the party. They have yet to. We're about to have not Thanksgiving, but it's October. It's we're a third of the way through October, and they have yet to rush for a touchdown. So with the running game not working at all, what does Christian McCaffrey decide to do? What does he have the ability to do? He averages a career high 77.4 receiving yards. That's what he's done so far. Christian McCaffrey, whether the team is going to pretend he's a wide receiver or not, has morphed into a wide receiver. Since that's the only thing that's working, of course, Christian McCaffrey, what's the famous Bruce Lee quote, be like water. Like not only is water healing and you need it for life, but water is the most powerful force when it turns into a tidal wave. But water can also fill anything. It takes all shapes. Christian McCaffrey is like offensive water. He truly is. He's like offensive water. He fits the situation no matter what it really is. And the situation says they got to go ahead and throw the ball this year. So he's like, okay, I'm just going to turn into the single best version of my wide receiver self that you need right now. He's incredible. By the way, those 77.4 receiving yards as a running back is the most since any running back in 40 years. The next highest was Marshall Faulk, who was at 65.5 yards. This is when Marshall Faulk was playing with Peyton Manning and was at the absolute peak of his everything. Like best player in football level running backs mattered that much back then, peak. So we are really watching one of the single greatest football players of all time in Christian McCaffrey. He's like water. Whatever you need him to be, whatever position you need him to fill, he can fill it. Now, it almost must seem like, manna from the heavens for the 49ers. They're actually going to face a team that is pretty banged up too. This Tampa Bay team is not in great shape right now. Wide receiver Chris Godwin is out with a fibula injury, not the torn up ankle. He's played a little bit coming back from that bad ankle break, but this is a fibula. Probably it's all related. You start hurting your spokes, your wheels don't last long. You got Godwin out with a fibula. You got Mike Evans, again, also set to be out this weekend. So, Emeka Egba is unbelievable. Ibuka, sorry. Yeah, this rookie, he's just been unbelievable. And watch out for Ibuka this weekend because he is where Baker Mayfield's going. It's a good team in Tampa despite their problems. They might be down 2 offensive linemen this weekend. Tampa Bay was missing its corners in Seattle. They're banged up too. So the universe tipping the scales, balancing the scales just a little here in this game. That's why I really think the 49ers, again, they got a shot. If any team's got a shot, and if we now know enough about the Niners to know that they maintain their shot, even with all their injuries, yeah, they definitely got a shot going here to Tampa Bay. There's no doubt about it, man. There's no doubt about it. Kyle Shanahan has had a lot of success against Todd Bowles. This is Robert Saleh and Todd Bowles going against each other. 49ers got a shot in this one. They could be sitting with the best record in the NFC at the end of this weekend. That could happen. That's out there for them. So, go ahead. When you got a shot, take it. When you got a shot, take it. Hopefully you've taken your shot at that like button. All you get, no, you haven't. Oh my gosh, we got over 100 people watching and only 30 something likes. I mean, it's just, that's easy to do. Just tap that like button. Boop. It's easy. You can make that happen. Or maybe you're saving your likes for when Sammy gets here. I hear you. I feel that way too. The most amazing thing about this team, and there's a lot of amazing stories about the 49ers and how they're doing this, how they've held this together with duct tape and spackle so far. It's amazing that they're doing it. Like I said earlier, even though Christian McCaffrey's on this team, there's still no running game really to speak of. In a season defined by backups everywhere, you'd figure, okay, well, if your offense is still generating what it needs to generate to win games, it's got to be the running game. No, it's not. The 49ers are ranked 27th in total rushing yards. They're 28th in rushing yards per game, only 85 rushing yards per game for the 49ers so far this year. Again, 0 rushing touchdowns. It's October 10th. It's not even October 0 anymore. We're 10 days. It's now 1-0. There are 0 rushing touchdowns. The defense, though, has allowed 98 points through 5 weeks. But they're hardly getting to the quarterback. So nothing really makes any sense, which is why the 49ers, I think, are the best story of the year. Something is happening that gets them into the win column, hook or crook, luck or fuck, who knows? But it's kind of unbelievable where they are, and they've got a really good chance to even improve upon where they are, and they've so positioned themselves well enough through this point in the year, how they've played, even though they haven't played well yet, they can actually afford to not play well in Tampa and still be incredibly well positioned thanks to who they're going to eventually get back here from injury and the most kiss on the forehead schedule the NFL could have possibly offered up for them. So I maintain the state of the 49ers union is very strong right now. They're just getting it done. And sometimes early on in the year, that's all you need to do. And the real difference in where they are, what they still might be this year, will clearly be in how they try to address the Nick Bosa absence for the remainder of the year. So here's the difference that one win can actually make. And I think that this is, what is the biggest X marks the spot of this game? Sure, the 1 seed. As if that meant a lot in October. The 1 seed is right there for you. Who cares? What matters most is, I think, the way this team addresses the Nick Bosa absence. I think with a loss to Tampa, you're looking at Arden Key, maybe coming on back in the room. Trey Hendrickson might be the X marks the spot if you go and beat Tampa and you're seriously 5-1 through all of it. That to me is the biggest. What is the biggest outcome? It's not just the perception to the league. It's the perception to themselves and what they might do. John Lynch this week on KNBR said he's working phones. And if there is a deal out there that can be made that does seem right, sound like they're going to do it. I think that the deal you make with a loss to Tampa is a little different than the deal that you make with a win in Tampa. It's a little bit different. Is it, is one we're not even really trying trade, and the other is, we're really trying to? No, I don't think it should be interpreted as that, because Arden Key back in the room wouldn't be a bad thing at all. It really wouldn't be. And you wouldn't be giving up very much to make that happen. So, in a year where this depth that we're always shitting on is actually proving itself, let's see. You win in Tampa, yeah, it might be time to seriously, go hit on the hottest chick in the bar. That's where the 49ers are if they are honestly coming out of Tampa, flying home to Santa Clara with a win. Malik Mustafa was a full go Thursday, full go in practice. That's good. Oh, by the way, you know why we didn't do a 49ers wake up with Larry this morning? Because Larry, God bless him, he's working hard. He's down at Levi Stadium again. He gets to Levi Stadium and realizes that he forgot his laptop. So I think we're going to do a Saturday morning special for you. I think we're going to do a 9 a.m. wake up, me and Larry, to make good for the show that we didn't get to today. Because he forgot his laptop, the poor guy. I read a really interesting article on Niners Nation written by Kyle Posey, friend of the show, Kyle Posey. Got to get him back sometime soon. He was just talking about how you've got very similar outcomes with two totally different defensive styles that's going to be on full display come Sunday in Tampa. We got, he says, talking about Robert Saleh and Todd Bowles, he says in many ways, Tampa and San Francisco right now are the Spider-Man memes pointing at each other. Both teams are 3-0 on the road. Each have 4 wins. Neither team has won a game by more than a touchdown. That's how 2 4-win teams have combined for a point differential of 11 points. I mean, that's crazy. That is crazy. You got both the 49ers and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers winning games by an eyelash over and over and over again. And they're both doing it with defense that gets it done, but just totally how it gets done, 2 totally different ways. Tampa Bay just played a game without 2 of its top cornerbacks, a future Hall of Fame wide receiver, an electric young running back, and they got 9 players on their injured reserve PUP list, and then they still won in Seattle, which is a tough thing to do. Saleh, without Bosa, he's kind of done the opposite of what we thought. We thought, all right, so you don't have Bosa any longer, and you got to generate some pass rush. So you're going to be firing a frequent wave of exotic blitzes. It hasn't been then at all. Not at all. The 49ers have been dropping back more than ever before. They're blitzing less without Bosa and we thought that they would blitz more. Meanwhile, Tampa Bay is like one of the most blitzing defenses you'll find in all of football. I think they get the 3rd biggest blitz rate in all of football. When Darrell Luter's out there, Robert Saleh can cover that up. It's a really big Band-Aid needed to cover up Nick Bosa, but the 49ers have kind of covered up that injury. Now, they haven't done it by somebody else really start pressuring the quarterback, collapsing the pocket. That really isn't happening right now. But the way that they're playing in space, the way that their zone is working for them, it's a cover 6 defense. It's been fantastic. It's really worked. It's prevented big plays out on the perimeter. It's bend, don't break, keep it all in front of you football. And with Robert Saleh, he's got it working. He's really got it working. Todd Bowles, meanwhile, is basically a defensive coordinator at the bar doing shots. It's like, let's go. Let's go. We're going to pick a moment. Boom, send the house. Send it. 0, cover 0, full blitz. Tampa does that. So different styles, similar results. And that's what football is all about, man. Styles make fights in sports. So it should be an awful lot of fun, man. Again, the biggest news around the 49ers this week is always going to be how's your quarterback's health going? And that apparently is going to be a question all year long. So Brock is not going on IR. That's fantastic. Kyle, though, has got to be asking himself at times, like, other than a Super Bowl, what more do you people want? I saw this from Warren Sharp that really just explains how well Kyle runs an offense. I mean, consistency matters in a sport that doesn't offer much consistency, with all the moving contracts, with all the moving parts every offense has got to go through, with injuries. That playbook is being handed to like a new dude every 5 minutes. So how do you remain consistent when that's happening? Kyle really is great at it. Right now, the highest completion percentage on passes of 10 or more air yards. So this is, I'm not asking my quarterback to throw just a little hook route over here. I'm telling my quarterback to throw the football. These are throw the football asks of the playbook. Drake May of all names, Drake May is actually leading the NFL right now, 68.9 yards, followed by Sam Darnold. Wasn't really expecting to see that there either. J.J. McCarthy. Now, J.J. McCarthy is there because he's played so little, because he's been so hurt. Lamar Jackson, he's good enough to be on this list, whether he's hurt or not, small sample size or not. But then it's Lamar. Marcus Mariota, again, probably there because of sample size. Daniel Jones, the single best quarterbacking story going on in the NFL right now, is right there. Now, the detractors will say, well, Brock is here because of the sample size. We haven't seen much of Brock Purdy, but Brock Purdy, for all of his faults and his interceptions and his shaky play when he has made his 2 starts, he's at 59%. So he is, in the top 7 in football. He's followed by Stafford, Goff, Cooper Rush, again, sample size. Joe Burrow, good enough to be there no matter what, but small sample size. He got hurt so early. Dak Prescott, better than anyone wants to admit. He's a good quarterback. Josh Allen, Jordan Love, and then coming in 15th in the NFL, it's Mac Jones. 51.4%. So without much protection, with no running game to really help out, and with backup 3rd string, 4th string, Kendrick Bourne is in the room again, wide receivers everywhere. Kyle Shanahan has 2 quarterbacks making big plays downfield in real big boy passing situations. He's got 2 of the 15 top percentages under center right now in the NFL. That's pretty impressive. That's pretty impressive, knowing what you know about the whole situation. It's not like, your backup quarterbacks out there, and you still got George Kittle, though. You still got frickin' Brandon Ayuk. You still got healthy this, that, the other thing. Jawan Jennings, not the Ricky Pearsall. No. It's nothing but moving parts. The guy you're throwing to last series is out for 2 weeks next series. All season long so far. It's freaking impressive, man. Freaking impressive. By the way, Joseph Ehrenberg coming in here saying, thank God we took Nick Martin instead of Scattaboo. Let me tell you, man, that does hurt. I wanted Cam Scattaboo, and he does look good. He's about to be the Jeremy Lin of white running backs in New York City. I mean, he is about to take that town over if he keeps on playing like that. But there was a little Christian McCaffrey light there, wasn't there? He was really good. He was really, really good. I'm impressed. How can you not be? He looked great. Yeah. Scattaboo love. All over the channel early today. See, it's funny, and we're going to talk about this when Sammy does get here. If you play on a Thursday night, or if you play Sunday night, if you play Monday night, if you are the standalone game, I forget it. That's a Super Bowl right there. I mean, it really is. The amount of attention that gets paid to a standalone game, the amount of hot points and talking points that everyone's looking to come away with from any one standalone game, because we are all watching. All of us tune in. If you are a football fan of one team, chances are you're definitely going to be there because maybe you got a little fantasy going. Doesn't matter. Maybe you got a little something rolling with Sleeper. I don't know. Maybe you're it doesn't matter what. If you are a football fan, you come back to watch football that your football team isn't playing in all of the time more than any other sport, and that is why it is just crushing. Culture of Sport actually just had an article out today saying that this past weekend, CBS averaged over 19.5 million viewers for its Week 5 single header, the network's biggest since rejoining the NFL back in 1998. NBC's Sunday Night Football pulled in nearly 22 million for Patriots Bills. I mean, that's not even a super sexy matchup. It might be a division rival. It does mean a lot in that Northeast quarter for sure. But if I had to talk about the rivalries that brought the national audience together, Patriots Bills would be nowhere even on the list. It wouldn't be. That is a geographic matters rivalry more than it matters like Niners Cowboys. That matters. That matters. When that happens, that matters. 20 million. 20 million for Patriots Bills. CBS hasn't seen numbers like that since 2013. You know, this is the fact that we are now measuring streaming is just, it's something that, again, streaming is something that every single network fears to its core, yet now is leaning on to find bigger audiences and bigger numbers to share from a rating standpoint than ever before. They used to separate ratings numbers and streaming numbers. You know, if you were, but I'm watching CBS, and even though I'm streaming CBS over here, this doesn't count to this. That's how that used to be. Now it does. Now that does count. They figured out a way to count it all. And that's why there's no end to the gravy train for football. No end in sight. Broncos, Eagles, Buccaneers, Seahawks, up like 17% over what was last year's equivalent. Again, these are not sexy matchups. Buccaneers, Seahawks, Broncos, Eagles. Yeah, I guess in the moment, those were okay. Well, we can, because of how the season is played out, these games are bigger than they might be, should be, were expected to be. But these were not games that any network executive was circling saying, yeah, that's going to do, 17 million, no problem. That's a huge number. That's like a Monday Night Football number back in the day. So very, very impressive. Very, very impressive that football is a freaking monster no matter what, no matter who's out there. It does not stop. Does not stop. So we'll see if the 49ers got it in them one more time. Hey, I want to thank once again every single person for being in here today. Hit like, hit subscribe. Thank you so very, very much. I know it was a little bit of a popping in, popping out week at times. So thank you so much for being here. As always, thank you to Sleeper for getting it done with us. Sleeper is really the fastest growing fantasy site in the world for a reason. I go on there and make little plays. Just sitting around bored, just $5 play, $10 play. It's an awful lot of fun. I'm actually doing really well on Sleeper, all things considered. You can too. Check it out. You think you got what it takes to pick an over-under? Build your own parlays. Get a $100 deposit match right now using promo code Damon. Use the link in the description of this video. Again, my man Ike is absolutely delicious. Turning 18, so there you go. Celebrating on October 31st. I had a birthday Halloween for Ike as a business. I'm so proud to be part of that. I'm so proud to be part of the Dubliner as well. Thank you to everyone. I tell you, I officially found maybe one of the most interesting NFL notes of the entire week from Andrew Siciliano, who is friends with Sam. And Sammy will be by when he is out of his big I'm a NHL post-game host meeting that he's at ESPN radio station in Los Angeles right now. But Andrew Siciliano's just talking about how, it is turnover at the position of quarterback. Jacoby Brissett might start for the Cardinals on Sunday. Kyler Murray got concussed, I believe, or hurt himself when he fell down on a snap that he really didn't fall on. It just hit him in the face mask, and then he stood there for a minute. Maybe he was startled. He says he fell. He hurt himself on the fall. Okay. Was weird. If Jacoby Brissett starts for the Cardinals on Sunday, he's going to be the 40th different quarterback to start an NFL game this season. And if you want to count Joe Flacco twice because he's going to be in two different teams, it would be 41st. That's unbelievable, the attrition at the position. And for the 49ers to just roll out requisite offense no matter what, man, it's more than pretty impressive. It's why Shanahan, I think, is the coach of the year. It's why you're going to start seeing that story come up and up and up. If this team goes to 5-1, you are going to get the Kyle Shanahan is getting glazed in the national media in ways that does not happen. It's going to bother some of you. Leslie says, Damon, second important question. I missed the first one. I'll get to it. Did we ever talk about Mark Sanchez this week? We did a little bit. First of all, you shouldn't stab your delivery driver. Stop arguing with people. That sounded like a drunken situation that got out of hand. Again, I didn't see it. I'm not going to talk about something I really don't know that much about, but it seems like Mark Sanchez is going to be charged with like assault. It's not the other way around. So very weird situation. And I honestly wonder what it's going to do to his broadcasting career. If I don't know what Fox is going to do. What was Leslie's first question? Oh, here it is. Oh, no, this is Mark. That's the Mark Sanchez question. What was Leslie's first question? Can I find it here real quick in the chat? I can't find it, Leslie. You go ahead and get to ask it again. But you got all those quarterbacks moving. Look at what happened in New York, though. Jackson Dart comes right in, and all of a sudden, Brian Daboll is giving him hugs because he's saving his coaching career. It really sucks that Neighbors got hurt, doesn't it? That really sucks. No matter what's going right for the Giants, there's always something that's going to suck. That sucks. Oh, wait, Fox already fired him? Wow. Seriously? I did not know that. Oh, I got to Google that real quick. Fox fire Sanchez? Whoa. Yeah, there you go. He was supposed to call the Seahawks-Jaguars game this weekend, but Fox has replaced him in the booth. Brady Quinn stepping in short notice. Going to a Notre Dame quarterback to replace a USC quarterback, that hurts on a whole different level, doesn't it? Mark Schlereth is going to step in too, I guess, with Chris Myers. So you got a little color commentator shuffle. Mark Sanchez, but I don't know if he's been fired. It says his future is unclear with the network, but he's been replaced this week. Yeah. I don't think he's been fired. But yeah, he's get the week off to think about it. Yeah, I did see this. Chef A actually forwarded me that the Babylon Bee says Mark Sanchez's sentence is he's got to play 5 more years for the New York Jets. That was fantastic. That was pretty funny. Let's talk about what you got this weekend, man. It is a hell of a freaking weekend coming up. If you are a sports fan, look, is Michelle Haberman in here today? I've been all week long trying to avoid Michelle Haberman. I don't want to hear anything about Oregon, but number 7, IU at number 3, Oregon. I'm not kidding when I say this is the biggest regular season football game that Indiana has played this century. This is the biggest regular season Indiana football game in 100 years. We have never mattered as a football program. Even if we had a record that gave us the cosmetic of a nice ranking, as far and few as that has ever been for Indiana historically, they've never been this good. They weren't this good last season when they went to the playoffs. Right now, there is like one team in college football that is in the top 5 in offense and in the top 5 in defense, and it's Indiana. It's amazing. So Kirk Cignetti becomes the new Nick Saban this weekend with a win in Oregon. If it happens, I'm going to be beside myself. It's the biggest regular season game for Indiana in the history of Indiana football. I don't think it's an exaggeration to say that. Beyond that, I also got to tell you, I know there's an awful lot of Bay Area love, a lot of Giants fans watching this stream right now. I grew up a Chicago Cub fan. They're alive. I have a very interesting Saturday. I've got Indiana playing its biggest football game ever. Let's not make like we're casual about the Cubs competing for October prizes. Let's not normalize the Cubs could be in the NLDS. Let's not normalize the Chicago Cubs are technically 9 wins away from another World Series. They have faced off and held off elimination twice. God bless them. I didn't think it was going to happen. But the Chicago Cubs are playing the Brewers in a Game 5. Winner meets the Dodgers in the NLCS. Holy shit. So that's a big Saturday for your boy. I got a really, really big Saturday from a sports standpoint. Beyond that, I think tonight we get Game 5, Tigers-Mariners, right? Fun Friday night game. Winner meets Toronto in the ALCS. I got to be pulling Mariners there. Not that Detroit has enjoyed an awful lot of nice things. I'm not rooting against Detroit, but Seattle, as a baseball history, has like nothing. So any postseason success feels like a World Series for Mariners fans. Let Mariners fans get it tonight. Why not? Mariners, Blue Jays. Probably wasn't the ALCS networks were dreaming of. It could be Dodgers, Cubs, or it could be Dodgers, Brewers. I know if network executives are behind home plate tonight, it's going to be a nice strike zone for the Cubs. A fun sports weekend, though. College football fans, number 1 Ohio State at Illinois. Both teams 5-1. That never happens. Number 15 Michigan at USC. Both of those teams 4-1. Alabama at Missouri. Bama's 4-1. Mizzou is 5-0. Huge games. Number 6 Oklahoma at Texas. Arch Manning maybe getting benched. I mean, it's not working the way that they wanted that to. Cal is off this weekend. Stanford probably gets throttled at SMU. And if Vince Vargas is in here, I'll let you know that I see Sparty is playing at Wyoming. Go Sparty. I mean, then you get to Sunday, man. Sunday's going to be awesome. Sunday's going to be awesome. The rest of the NFC West. Again, could it happen 2 weeks in a row? Could the football world completely tip into the 49ers direction 2 weeks in a row? Well, that depends on what the Colts do. Colts are hosting the Cardinals. Again, Cardinals could be with Brissett in Indianapolis this weekend. You got to like the Colts as good as they have shown themselves over the Cardinals this weekend. It would be a huge upset if the opposite happened. The Seahawks are at the Jaguars. Jaguars just beat the Kansas City Chiefs. They're high as a kite right now, aren't they? So Jaguars, huge game against the Seahawks. A really big game for the Seahawks, trying to keep pace here. Talk about staying on the lead lap. That's what the Seahawks are trying to do. So that is a huge game. The Rams are at the Ravens, which when this season started sounded like a huge game for the Rams. Rams are walking into as beat up a Ravens team as you've seen in a decade. They are a mess. So Ravens holding on for dear life against the Rams. And let me just tell you one more thing that's out there. And this is really, really interesting. Really interesting. There is a game of pain that only a mother could love, or sycophants. 1-4 Tennessee at 1-4 Las Vegas. What's really interesting about this, both teams desperate as hell. The Raiders are in DEFCON 1 in just level personal panic attacks that are going on internally right now. There is a mess inside of Raiders headquarters right now. Everything that Pete Carroll was brought in to be The opposite of that is happening. And the one thing that even with losses that was supposed to turn around, just this feeling of the culture is changing. Nope. It's not happening. This is the one time maybe all season long where the Raiders might put more local Raider fans into Allegiant Stadium than opposing fans. Are Tennessee fans rolling into Vegas hard? Are there enough Tennessee fans to roll into any place hard? I don't think there are. You want the most off-brand team maybe in the league is the Tennessee Titans. So, the Raiders, who will be at home, will actually be at home, are desperate as a team can be. It's kind of interesting. Again, if you like chaos, who's not rooting for chaos? 1-4 Tennessee at 1-4 Raiders. Very interesting. Lions and Chiefs, Sunday Night Football. I mean, how many more losses can the Chiefs just allow to slip into the bag? Like, no big deal. Like, we're still going to be really good. And they got signs of we're going to still be a good football team written all over them. And then there are other signs that say maybe they're not quite who they used to be anymore. Game against the Lions is a big reveal game. Big reveal game. JP from the 510 says, man, I love visiting Chicago. Ended up going to Gibson's. Had the best $172 40-ounce porterhouse I ever had. That's a man, the price tags at Gibson's gone. The price tag's gone up everywhere. But I'm glad you had a great time. And Gibson's is wonderful. You can find a lot of great steakhouses. The reason why you go to Gibson's is because it is just located in a great spot. And I've had nothing but A-plus customer service at Gibson's every single time I walked in there, to the point where I remember walking past Gibson's when I was a kid. And I was with my friend Mark Pigeon, and our dads were bringing us to a Cubs game as we were in high school. And, going for, from a sophomore year into a junior year of high school, from upstate New York, our dads flew us to Chicago. We went to Wrigley Field. It was a dream. It was awesome. We're coming out of a Cubs game. So we're, it's evening, it's class it up time in Chicago, but we are still dressed in Cubdom. And we walked into Gibson's and said, we're really underdressed here. And the maitre d' just said, oh, no, not at all. Cubs won today. Come on in. You are perfectly dressed. Welcome to Gibson's. And I just remember that as a kid. I remember how awesome that was as a kid. And it has affected the way I feel about that iconic restaurant for the rest of my life. Customer service matters. Customer service matters. Han Banana says, if IU wins DB, try not to go Sanchez level in San Francisco. Yeah, that's great advice. I will not start calling DoorDash and just start stabbing intermittently, allegedly. Although, no, Sanchez got stabbed. That's the thing. Normally, the guy who gets stabbed is not the dude getting the felony charge at the end of it. By the way, the old 69-year-old is apparently a little allegedly as well. So, you get a little. That didn't go well written all over it right there. Smiley Dan, it always goes well whenever you bump into Smiley Dan, just said, wait, Phillies just realized to throw to first? I mean, a force out at any base with plenty of time to go to any base means you probably shouldn't throw one to the backstop. That was a bad beat. I don't think the Phillies were going to beat the Dodgers anyways. And that's the perfect time to say hello to our boy, Sam Betesh, who we thought was going to come on by today. He promised me he was coming on by today. Mr. Hockey Night in Los Angeles had a meeting today at the new radio station. I'm so proud of you, buddy. I'm so happy that you're doing that. And it's great to have you here. We were just crapping all over the Phillies, how that ended. It's the one moment where that ended so bad. If there's any empathy in the city of Philadelphia, it might actually get placed on him a little. 50% will want to skin him alive no matter what. Rough day for Philadelphia. Flyers lose opening night, or I think that was the opening game. Eagles lose. Can't believe it. Scatabo is now the white Jeremy Lin of running backs. And Sam, how about them Phillies?
All right,
let's your Eagles.
Let's just make this as simple as we possibly can, Damon. 1983 is the last time that there was one day that saw three Philadelphia teams, those three, lose on the same day. Now, again, that's not every year that happens, right? The Phillies have to be in the NL. They have to be in the playoffs for this to apply. But Flyers, Eagles, Phillies, and of course, compounded by the fact that it wasn't just a loss by the Phillies at the end of their season. And let's just really drive this knife in a little further here, Damon.
Stick it in.
The Philly season ended on essentially a bases loaded walk and a bases loaded error on a ground out to the pitcher.
Yeah,
I mean, that is as, I mean, if you want to talk about a bullpen not being effective, that bases loaded walk, bases loaded error by the pitcher who walked that bases loaded, right? That was a walk that led to it being bases loaded in the first place. And then he gets Paz to ground out and throws the ball as if they're giving away T-shirts in the stands, right?
Well, it's great to see you. It's great to know that you're still okay as the city of Philadelphia suffers. For people who are just getting to know you, I've known Sam for 20 years, good friends, with radio connections through decades, broadcasting connections through decades. Even though he's Mr. Philadelphia, he does live in LA and he is Mr. Hockey. Behind you is a Kings logo. You are a man dressed in black like Johnny Cash right now. You got a USD behind. Tell everyone where you are right now, Sammy.
So this is great. So I'm at LA Live, Damon. So you and I've been here. I believe we've been here for a game at least once. But LA Live is where Staples. No, you know we haven't. You're right. We have not. You're right. We've done many games together in the Bay Area and not in Los Angeles. And you were at a UCLA, I believe, game the last time you were here, and I was not able to meet you at.
Correct. But, you right? Did the Rose Bowl.
Correct. So I should have met you there. But I'm at LA Live. I'm at ESPN LA, which is across the street from Crypto, Staples Center, etc. I'm here at the station. Not only am I the host of Kings Talk for the LA Kings, I am the hockey/Kings insider at the station, and get this, director of marketing as well. So there, I mean, hats. We're just gonna wear them, and we're gonna do it all. And Damon, and again, beyond that,
you're a week and a half away from being a program director and maybe getting me in morning drive. So
Damon,
it's good to know you.
It's a long plan. And it's a process, as they know in Philadelphia, but I think things are coming together.
We will trust the process.
Yes. But as the Philadelphia guy, Damon.
Malibu. Sammy's got to pay Malibu money right from the get-go. You need to know that. Malibu money.
There's no chance that Jillian's not fired up about the LA opportunity. Okay. So
here's the thing, man. She runs, dude, San Francisco's in that blood of her. She from here, so she kind of hates LA. The Dodgers won last night. Under her breath, I heard her go, fuck. Like, she was not happy.
You know, it's interesting. And I have this, obviously the Phillies, I wanted them to win. Okay. My dad is from Philly. Across the board, I root for Philadelphia teams. The only team he adopted when he came out here 45 years ago was the Angels. So I have this Shohei thing where I'm really into Shohei.
Everyone's really into Shohei. You don't have to be ashamed of your Shohei. We all are kind of.
Is there anything unlikable about Shohei Ohtani?
No,
there's just not.
No,
there's just not.
And if you think that you like overkill will do it, go to Japan. And if you still like Shohei Ohtani on your trip through Japan, there's no knocking you off the Shohei Ohtani train. I love the guy. I seriously do. Like I say this with the Chicago Cubs playing elimination baseball tomorrow. Now in my lifetime fandom, I am just as interested in Shohei Ohtani at bats or pitching performances as I am in Cubs baseball. He is like the sport of baseball inside the sport of baseball to me. He's a sport of baseball unto himself.
Shohei just is that guy, Damon. Yeah. Shohei, for whatever reason, is the kind of guy that, first of all, he's the greatest player in the game, no matter what you want to say. You want to talk about Babe Ruth, you want to talk about other people, that's fine, that's adorable. But the bottom line is, it's Shohei Ohtani. He is greatest. And the fact that Major League Baseball's greatest player ever is from Japan, I mean, that's hilarious. But you can't go to Dodger Stadium and not see the influence that Shohei has had on that entire stadium, on this entire city. And it's about Shohei, and he is just embraced, and he should be everywhere. He's a tough guy to hate. He's a tough villain. And watching him win last season and then watching him on the way to winning again, that's just beautiful. And I'm all for it, even though it had to go through my Phillies.
The only other most universally likable person of sports unfortunately passed away. Fuji Simeon coming in with the super saying, rest in peace, Sister Jean of Loyola. 106 years old. Remember, she was their mascot during deep NCAA tournament runs. And yes, rest in peace.
Oh, yeah.
Sister Jean Saint Basketball, if there ever was. Rest in peace.
If there ever was. And by the way, so what's interesting about yesterday is the way, okay, can we, I don't know that we've done
by
this.
the way, to keep it women of the cloth related for just a second, Hugh Josky Bear, who, by the way, was at Plus Mania. Awesome guy.
Nice.
He said Mother Teresa could wear Dodger blue and I would hate her.
Look, by the way, I Plus Mania, I'm so sad that I had to miss that, Damon. It was the final Kings preseason game, and I was there. It was great because I got to hang out on TV with Patrick O'Neal. That was a huge moment for me.
Hey.
I mean, that was incredibly cool. You know,
I did do ice time's expensive. You don't have to, you don't have to explain it to me.
But Plus Mania is really, it's so spectacular that you do that to really kind of press the flesh with everybody here on the YouTube page. It's such an important thing for people to know that you're connected, that you're of the people, Damon, and that is for sure.
Yeah, I come down from the heights and I greet the plebs. Yeah, no, let me tell you what's so cool about it is they're becoming friends.
Yes.
It's not that I'm friends with them. It's that they become actual friends. And that is how I think that's why sports matter. It brings people together, man. There's an element of why it all matters in the first place. And I think that's at the core of it. If we wanted to get all lovey-dovey and self,
we can be lovey-dovey, and that's part of it. Now, speaking of lovey-dovey, city of brotherly love. So is there a more painful way to end a season than when it's so self-inflicted, right? You want to get mad at the manager. You want to get mad at certain people. You want to get mad at the biggest superstars.
Right.
And then it's a relief pitcher with kind of a cool story who's not a hateable guy who just makes this gack.
Rake in the face, walking in the backyard, goofy level.
And again, the throw to first, what makes it even more dramatic is that Real Muto, the catcher, is pointing to first base, right? Like just do, but it's one of those where you can picture the pucker yourself if it happened, right? If the ball's hit to you on the mound and you get right, so he gags the ball, it's right to him, but it immediately deflects off of him. So now the pressure level, think about what the heart rate did at that point when he didn't get the ball cleanly. And I'm sure, and his momentum's taking him towards the third baseline and everything's going through his head. Where's the easiest place for me to go? And obviously it just exploded. So that season ends. And then you're thinking in the back of your mind, all right, Phillies aren't going to win the World Series, clearly. But the Eagles are Super Bowl champs.
Thursday Night Football.
Eagles are Super Bowl champs. It's halftime. By the way, it is at halftime at that play. Right. All right. That play explodes. The Philly season ends. And it's halftime of a game. And you're saying, wait, we're losing to the Giants 20-17. If you're a Philadelphia fan.
Scatterbooed in a way that no one has ever been scatterbooed in their life.
And do you know this? So the Scatterboo thing, again, much like Shohei is likable, I can't even hate Scatterboo. This guy, by the way, my son Levi, the 4-year-old, he was into Scatterboo. After that performance against Texas in the playoff, Levi just said Scatterboo randomly. It was one of the first words he learned was Scatterboo. And so we're kind of all about it.
It's a fantastic, it just rolls off the tongue. Scatterboo.
It's so, it really is interesting. And it's really interesting to imagine the Giants if Malik Neighbors was healthy.
I even said that. There's always a dark cloud over the New York Giants.
Always.
And
always.
How excited would you be? Your rookie quarterback is 2-0 to start his career in a bad situation. You have a rookie running back that you officially should be excited about. Yeah. And Malik Neighbors was Jamar Chase without a quarterback.
And now
he was starting his year, and now he might be damaged goods. Who knows?
And they get one half together.
Yeah.
They get one half together, and that's it in New York. Of course, yes, future is bright. And I want to say this, Damon, and I know, look, everybody here takes each Niners game as a mini Super Bowl in and of itself, right? Yep. You and I, and particularly you with this awesome channel that you have on YouTube, you have to dissect every game. You can't say eventually it's going to be okay. You have to take every game that it's either we won and everything's okay, or we lost and nothing is okay. And I just want to say this for the city of Philadelphia. The Eagles are 4-2.
Yes.
I mean, just turn on any channel today and everyone's going to tell you what a disaster it is.
It's a disaster. They got one of the best records in football. It's a disaster.
Not only best record, Damon, beating the Chiefs. And I understand you think what you want of the Chiefs at this point, but I'm sorry, beat the Chiefs. And then in the NFC, when you're talking the hierarchy of the NFC and how it's all going to stack out, win over the Bucs, win over the Rams, and divisionally win over the Cowboys. Yeah. I mean, it's still going to be okay. Yeah. So I just want, I mean,
we have not had trick-or-treating yet. Okay. That's why. So talking about the 49ers and always bringing it back to the Niners, there's an opportunity for them to be in the number one. I call it, forget about one seed. One seed doesn't, it's October. I don't care about your seeding. There's
doesn't
so
matter.
much football to talk like
Doesn't
that
matter.
yet. But you're in pole position of the lead lap. And to me, the thing that kind of makes this game a little, if Shohei is baseball inside of baseball,
yes.
What does make this a little bit of a mini season inside of the season, just this 4-quarter season, the way they could really change things is it's simply this. I think beating Tampa Bay on Sunday is the difference between you traded for Arden Key or you traded for Trey Hendrickson. Now, I like Arden Key. I think they would be better with Arden Key, but that's not the move. The move is this more likely to happen at 5-1 than it is at 4-2. So that to me is the story in the story of this game in Tampa, with all the moving parts that you always got to be looking at, and Mac Jones instead of Purdy, and it's not going to be Ricky Pearsall again. And, you got your defense and your Todd Bowles and your Robert Saleh and two different ways of going about similar results. And one guy just falls back in his own. The other guy's blitzing his dick off. Like, let's go. There's a lot of interesting things, but the outcome of this, I do think really matters to the overall arc of where this all goes. So big step, one little step in a football season, but maybe one giant leap in a possible trade deadline kind.
And here's what's beautiful about playing Tampa. So whatever you think of the schedule to this point, whatever holes you want to poke in what the Niners have done to this point, isn't Tampa a great measuring stick? Look at the game against Seattle, right? You can say right now that Seattle was looking good, feeling good. Darnold is doing a lot right now. Defensively, they are where they want to be for the most part. And they got close, but couldn't quite. And by the way, that's Darnold's play of the year in tying that game. That touchdown, right? That's Darnold's play of the year. So as a Seahawk, that's his play. That's his signature play at this point. And by the way, I've seen past versions of Darnold absolutely unable to make that play, and he does it. And yet, the Bucs are a little better. And then, on the same token, the Bucs are great in almost coming back against the Eagles, but it didn't happen. So the Bucs are right in that area where you want to be, right? Maybe not quite as good as the Eagles, and better barely than the Seahawks, who are starting to feel really good. Niners already have that win against the Seahawks. A win against the Bucs goes a long way to say, if we're really talking cream of the crop and we're not trying to give credit to the schedule and we're taking opponents, sort of a college football mentality where you're comparing yourself and saying, all right, because we beat you, now it means that we're here, etc.
Oh, yeah.
Tampa is that team. And if you remember correctly also, and I'm sure everybody that's a Niners fan does, but that game last season was special. And I know Jake Moody is not trying to remember that game necessarily, even though he was carried off like a hero at the end of that Tampa game. But the Bucs are a very real opponent.
They are. But here's the thing. It's like the scales of just, was it fair or not, are almost tipping a little bit in the Niners' direction, even though they're not very healthy. Neither are the Bucs. They could be down 2 offensive linemen. Godwin's not playing. Evans isn't playing. So Baker Mayfield is going to be out there throwing to his rookie, who's been very, very.
Oh, yeah. And Ibuka. Yeah. He's not been very fantastic. Look, Ibuka's good in a fantasy football world. He's good in a real football world. He's good in a world where your receiver room has Godwin and Evans, and still Ibuka's making a name for himself. I'm sorry. That matters. That he is a real playmaker, and Baker does more with less than any quarterback in this league. Baker, I mean, I'm just talking about like a waking up every day and not having what other guys have, right? Baker Mayfield wakes up in his bed smaller than everybody else at that position, and look at what he does. Baker's going to make this, forget about competitive. Every game Baker plays and comes down to the wire, right?
It's there's something about him. It's like the Gus Johnson is on your call today. It's going to be a nuts game. It's just something about that.
That's right. Baker shows up at the stadium. It's coming down to the last minute.
Johnny is, look, there's no reason to not be excited about this fact because it's amazing, given all the moving parts, as we keep on saying. The 49ers will be the number 1 seed. I don't understand why that's not being talked about. And on top of it, probably the difference between a high-level trader or helping people. That's the thing. The trade, I think, does more to affect where this season goes than being the 1 seed on October 12th.
Well, let's make this point.
If the Niners win, they will be the 1 seed on October 12th. That to me is like saying, this is the best concert I've ever been to 4 songs into the concert. I'm really happy that you're off to a good start, but you don't know how this ends. You don't know what they're going to encore with. You don't know what the second set's going to start with. You don't know anything yet.
But isn't this exactly the Detroit story from last season?
Kind of, yes.
I mean, Detroit's the 1 seed and missing Hutchinson and really replaced him by committee, right? I mean, yes, there was it Zadarius Smith that they got, right? They'd gotten Zadarius from Cleveland, right? So they didn't exactly, right? It wasn't, I mean, nobody's at Hutchinson's level, nobody's at Bosa's level, right? So replacing that has to be a Trey Hendrickson level name for people to sigh of relief. The Niners, it isn't, like you said, Damon, about being the 1 seed, frankly. I mean, yeah, is that nice having a bye week? It absolutely is. But the Lions had that last season despite holes, despite injuries, and it was ultimately depth that cost them against Washington in that divisional game. And you know the Niners are going to need elite playmakers at crucial times to win divisional and conference championship games.
Let's do it. Let's go. Let's play some real football this weekend. It's going to be big. By the way, it's not an exaggeration, Sam. The biggest regular season game in 100 years.
Yes.
In 100 years for Indiana football. Biggest game of the regular season century for my Hoosiers. And then a baseball team that I grew up rooting for as a boy faces elimination or a ticket to the NLCS, which is insane. I mean, let's not normalize the Cubs in October finding success. I'm not going to normalize that. So I have a very big sports Saturday coming up. I want to say thank you, though, to Ron, who's become a member here. Thank you very much, Ron, for doing that. It's an incredible way to support. I see guys saying, let's get Damon to 100 likes. Let's get both of these shows.
Come on, let's go, please.
100 likes. Thank you very much. We're there, baby. Thank you for hitting like. Thank you for hitting subscribe. Do so over on Sammy's channel as well. But Ron, welcome to the initiated. It's wonderful to have you here.
So I want to say one more thing about the Eagles because it applies to the Niners.
Okay.
So it really is important to have context about a football season.
Wait a minute. First of all, can we get a Donskoy? If we're gonna have one more Eagle talk, we can get one Donskoy with Mr. LA Hockey Night in hockey and Mr. Hockey Night in Los Angeles. What do you call the show, by the way? What do you call the show?
Well, King's Talk is what it is after the games. So that's something the Kings have established for a long time. So King's Talk is what it is. My buddy's got something, though, that would be great, and I'll establish it at some point.
King's things? King's things. I like
he's calling me the Samboni, which is...
Dude, run with it.
Right.
Run with it. Phenomenal. The Samboni, whoever did so an extra nickel in that guy's paycheck this week.
Yes. My man Boris called me the Samboni, and that's got to stick, right?
First of all, I'm angry that I didn't come up with that at a Sharks game 15 fucking years ago.
You're right. And I was always strangely hockey guy when no one gave a shit. So to be the Samboni, I think makes perfect sense.
Walking around the apartment in underwear in a Ron Hextall jersey. I've seen it.
Right. Who's doing that? Right. Only this guy, the Samboni. So that's it. So the Samboni.
Didn't think you'd see that in San Francisco when you came to the West Coast as a kid, dreaming about who's going to be walking around your apartment one day. No, it's this fucking hairy guy wearing a Ron Hextall jersey.
I mean, who would have thought? Who would have thought? And yet, look, pure magic for both of us. And here we are now, the Samboni. I think we got to go with it. It looks like the comments they're loving it. So I think we go with Samboni. That's it.
It's done.
That's what came out of today. But I wanted to allow Philadelphia to feel the disaster of the Phillies and separate it from the Eagles. Because here's what, and again, the Flyers have very few expectations. Them losing was the guarantee of the night. The other two things we didn't understand were going to happen. And by the way, congrats to Rick Tocchet, who has that job. He's going to wait for his first win. That's fine. But Philly season ends. Eagles season didn't. Can we separate those two things? Philly season is over.
I believe they're playing next week.
This is what happens. See, you and I talk about how beautiful the NFL is because the amount of games obviously says that there is urgency around all of them. Right. But you have to be able to contextualize. The Eagles were playing that game against the Giants. And yes, it's the Giants who lost to the Saints. And of course we can say, so now what, are the Saints better than the Eagles? Like, I don't know. Like, we separate. How wide open
this whole thing is. It's so wide open.
And the Eagles are playing. Can we get this straight who they're playing without in that moment and what ended up biting them? They're playing without their best defensive player, period. Jalen Carter. They are playing without their best defensive player coming into that game. Look how they looked week 1 against the Cowboys. Very losable game for them if CeeDee Lamb catches another pass. So they're playing without Jalen Carter. He is their Lawrence Taylor. He's at that level. What he does in and out of that defense, that's who he is. They're playing without him. And then on the offensive line, they're playing without Landon Dickerson. I understand Lane Johnson's their best offensive lineman, but Lane Johnson's also probably playing in one of his last 2 seasons. And Landon Dickerson is the next guy that's the next best offensive lineman for them. He's out of the game. And so you have to understand why 34-17, the Giants aren't Super Bowl champs and the Eagles aren't in the position for the number 1 pick yet. Like, we can calm it down a little bit and understand also the champs last season, the Eagles, they were 2-2 last season and won the Super Bowl. Now they're 4-2. Technically, that's still better.
Phenomenal. All great reasons to calm it down. Here's an even better one. We haven't had Halloween yet. Okay? Like, it's like, again, football's really not for everybody. I know everybody thinks that they deserve a room in the conversation. When you're 4-2 and it's not even Halloween yet, that's a good start. No matter what's happening, that's a good start. So just everyone needs to calm down, please. And thank you very, very much. I know we try to treat every single game. Here's the thing. We love football because it's episodic television. We get into an episode. We talked about how great it was going to be. It was great, or it was really bad. And then everyone wants to linger. You got to know the difference between a really good episode and the Red Wedding. Okay? You're not even close to the Red Wedding. That, bad episode for the Starks. It was not the Red Wedding. So calm down, man.
And that's the difference. And frankly, Red Wedding is the perfect example because the Phillies did have the Red Wedding yesterday. Yes.
That was the Red Wedding. Yes. You saw everyone died. Kyle Schwarber died at the end of that episode.
I mean, that's lights out, right? That's just like Dodgers running on the field, lights out on the season, plane ride back home. Don't even bother stopping at the facility. So that's different. That is the Red Wedding.
As much as I'm supposed to hate it because I'm up here, but again, I didn't grow up in San Francisco, so it doesn't. I didn't grow up with the hatred of the Dodgers. I didn't. But around me now, and I exist in it, and I understand when the Dodgers win a big game. And I Love LA comes on, that's as good as a celebration song. That's almost as good as when the A's had Celebrate by Kool and the Gang. Like, it's almost that good.
Damon, you and I, many, many, many nights and days in that park, Dollar Wednesdays, to hear that song. And that was beautiful. But for the Cubs now, I just want to say, because you brought them up, you remember you and I were in the park when the A's went up 2-0 on the Yankees. By the way, that happened. They had a 2-1, I believe a 2-1 lead against the Yankees in both. They maybe 2-0 twice, which the Yankees then won both of those series. One on the Giambi slide.
Yeah. Are you talking about the Marco Scutaro game? Or okay.
And again, the Giambi slide instead of trying to step over the most amazing play that Derek Jeter ever made, right? I mean, there's those moments. My only point was 5-game series. A lot of people argue against the 5-game series, and I want to say one thing that's really beautiful and interesting about it. So the Cubs have now fallen behind 0-2 and forced this game 5. And yes, the home teams won every game, and that's all fine. So it's sort of like that's how it's, quote, supposed to go. You can't tell me that Milwaukee, that the Brewers fans didn't just think it was done. Like, we're about to sweep the Cubs. It's over. We're into the CS, right? That's the mentality as a fan, and you can imagine the players have some of that. It's 2-0. We got to win one more game. It seems like no big deal. The minute a 2-0 series in a 5-gamer becomes 2-1, do you know how tight it all gets? I mean, that is where there is room for, I will admit, that's where there is room for panic. I will say, like, this idea the Eagles are 4-2 were panicked. Forget about all that.
It's basically, I mean, it's we're creating an illusion. We're jumping to game 6.
It's so unnecessary. But I will say the beauty of a 5-game series is as good as you feel, as confident as you are at 2-0, the minute that series becomes 2-1, you start to talk yourself into this game and this game. Everyone likes to check games off. And trust me, that was the talk in LA. Oh, wow. Now we blew our chance because if the Phillies win game 4, then they host game 5. And by the way, why are they a lock for game 5 when they had lost 2 games at home to the Dodgers in this series already? But that's the way the mentality works. Right. It's so hilarious.
No, it's funny. There's nothing that is less comfortable trying to win in sports as a fan than when you're counting outs. You're counting outs. That's it. We win one game today, we are through. So we're counting outs from the very first run we score. There it is. And that is, sometimes you might throw to the backstop instead of to your catcher when you're doing that.
The only thing worse there, I will say, for the Phillies fans that are just so upset today. Obviously, you know what would have been worse would have been if the Phillies were somehow leading there, if they had gotten the lead and that was the bottom of an inning where they were trying to lock it out. If that throw then tied the game and then they followed it up with a game-winning walk-off hit, that would have been the only thing worse, because the Phillies, I want to remind you, the Phillies did not have a lead. They were still going to need to get a run.
I don't think it's a worst case scenario.
It's pretty bad. It's pretty bad. And they can't win on a walk-off, right? They can't win on a walk. I was going to say it would be worse at home, but they can't win on a walk-off at home, right? The Dodgers can't win on a walk-off. So
not good.
It's rough, man.
It'll go down in Philadelphia history, which, Sammy, brings us to today. Can I give one thing before that? Can you share the screen real quick, or we can do it after this day in history? If you can share the screen, I want to just say it on something because I want your opinion on this and everybody in the comments. All
right?
Are these from the same planet doing the same thing?
Yes.
Is that what this is?
Yes, it is. Yes.
Here we go. It's so funny when I saw this. I was up early. You and I both love an NFL game from London, right? We are in full agreement. We like, you know what? That's totally where you are in life. Yes. If we were in our 20s, we would hate
it. Yeah.
We would want to get out of a bar on a Friday night or a Saturday night for London, nothing. But we're both up with kids. So London sounds great to us on the West Coast. Yeah, I saw this.
So am I just saying, and again, reminder to everybody, when Damon and I say just saying, we want to remind you all that you are actually saying it and that we are just hearing it. So when we say just saying, it's not a throwaway. We want you to hear it, and we are saying it. Carson Wentz got drafted because he's a pretty big dude. Okay, I'll admit that. Carson Wentz is tall and he's pretty sturdy, and his comparisons were to Brett Favre, so he's kind of got this burly part of him. And he was every bit of superstar status when he was with the Eagles. That has obviously fallen quite far in the years since then. But he's gotten this opportunity with Minnesota, and he is starting games, and he has won 2 of 3. The game in London was absolutely down to the wire. Carson Wentz throws a game-winning touchdown pass to Addison in that game, and the Browns are sort of devastated. But all the talk afterwards is that Dillon Gabriel played solid. Dillon Gabriel did everything that he wanted to do. You know that I'm tight with Siciliano. For his Browns, this is a bright spot moment. Dillon Gabriel, in fact, such a bright spot that Flacco is expendable to Cincinnati to get something for the future, right? That's great. That's how happy they are with Dillon Gabriel. This is not a Shedeur Sanders conversation. I will say, though, if there's any knock about Shedeur Sanders not being big enough for the position,
come on.
For those, I'm sad for anyone who's listening to this podcast after the fact and not seeing this right now, but please just go to Wentz Dillon Gabriel handshake and you'll find the image that I'm talking about. This looks like Carson Wentz is the rabbi at a temple telling the bar mitzvah kid at 13 years old, congratulations, now you're a man. Totally. Does this, I mean, how much bigger and more significant does Carson Wentz look next to Dillon Gabriel at a game they both played quarterback in that Wentz had to come back in? Wentz is just as likely to lose this game at the end. Dillon Gabriel would have been on the right end of it. Instead, yes, Wentz makes a play, but how, like you said, are these two people on the planet doing the same thing?
All I can tell you is, yeah, it might be the chocolate factory, but there is a difference between Wonka and the Oompa Loompas. And this really is a Willy Wonka Oompa Loompa difference in size. How are we all doing the same thing together? It is amazing how, I mean, what a badass little Dillon Gabriel's got to be. And here's the thing.
Yes.
Dillon Gabriel, what's lying about this picture isn't that Dillon Gabriel is little. Dillon Gabriel is normal.
Yes.
It's Carson Wentz who is the fucking redheaded Viking in the room.
It makes you understand, number 2 pick, we all get it, right? Because like history's going to say, wow, you know, not Carson Wentz won't ever be a bust, but Carson Wentz is going to be, he'll be one of those picks like, wow, that didn't, you know, he's not the franchise quarterback of the Eagles.
Super Bowl in Las Vegas. Remember, we both talked about it.
Yes.
Cam Newton. Cam Newton walks in a room. Cam Newton walks in a room. You're like, no, that's not that's not really how big he is, right? Like,
to somebody uninformed, Cam Newton walks in a room and you're asking somebody, is that Shaq? He's that large of a man.
Cam Newton is the doorway. He occupies the entire door frame when he walks through it. The man is a rectangle of a human, and you can't, and you're like, and that was a quarterback?
And a mobile quarterback and a
tackle
and a mobile quarterback running downhill. Yeah. Imagine that.
Yeah. Until you're in the room with them, you do not comprehend it. It's almost like Yao Ming. You just didn't get it unless you were there and you realize that, oh, his thigh is thicker than my waist.
That's why when somebody asks me, what's the future of the NBA going to be? Without really paying that much attention, I just say, I think the Wembanyama thing is going to be huge at some point. It's the right organization to surround him. And it's just like, that guy was made in a different factory, period.
Have you seen like 3 of his preseason blocks? He's blocking things so hard off the backboard. They look like volleyball serves. It looks like he's serving volleyballs the way
he's going to make the difference. It's going
player of the year this season, no matter what Draymond does, will be Victor Wembanyama. Done.
I'm just scared for what he's going to do. Really, he has the potential to be that much better than everybody.
Okay. By the way, so I'm just saying, I totally forgot to do today's birthdays as part of today's history. So I blew it. So
okay, that's all right.
Right on to historical fact. And we got some really interesting historical facts that we do have to get to today that are fascinating. So number 1, happy birthday. We do have one happy birthday.
Okay.
Happy birthday, Annapolis. The Naval School, the United States Naval Academy, opened today in 1845. I have always kind of been a Navy guy in the Army-Navy rivalry.
Okay.
Okay. So, yeah, happy birthday, Navy. Today in 1871, we just talked about how Mrs. O'Malley's cow started this damn thing 2 days ago. Today, the Great Chicago Fire dissipated. And today is the day they started looking around and they're like, oh, we did burn a third of the city of Chicago to the ground. Like it's oops.
Chicago's such a beloved city, Damon, and everyone should visit and everyone should see sports games at least one of those stadiums. But there isn't really a worse stain, is there? I mean, that's really not taking care of things the way that you could.
Has a cow ever done more damage to a city?
No.
No. I don't think so. Today, in 1973, again, I don't want to get political, but this is the world that we used to live in compared to the world that we live in right now. Okay. In 1973, Vice President of the United States, Spiro Agnew, resigned as vice president because he was charged with evasion of federal income tax, not in the actual moment, but when he was governor of Maryland years ago, and he resigned in shame. Imagine a politician not hanging on to power for just sheer we're hanging on to power's sake, but resigns in shame. And to just let you know that this is not like some liberal way of thinking, Spiro Agnew was Richard Nixon's vice president. Okay? Like, there was a element of gentlemanly behavior that you could assume would be attached to the situation. And just, Sammy, we don't live in this world anymore.
We don't. And you brought up Nixon. My dad's favorite president is Richard Nixon, which is kind of wild.
My dad's favorite president was Richard Nixon. And if you asked him why, he would tell you, because he got me out of Vietnam.
It's not bad.
I was like, okay, well, that's probably more than anyone else is ever going to do for you. There you go, Dad.
It's a big favor.
Yeah. It is Greg Papa's birthday.
Yeah, I'm so glad. I love that. Yeah, I saw it in the chat. I saw it in the comments, and there I am with yes. I will. Greg Papa deserves a message from everybody on social media.
Happy birthday to Greg Papa. Of all birthdays, this one's got to be a sweet one for him. Happy birthday, Greg. We love you, man.
We love you, Greg.
Let's see. Oh, speaking directly to Mr. Hockey Night in Los Angeles.
Let's go.
I need to tell you today that something that would affect hockey in Los Angeles forever.
Oh, is this the day?
Today's the day. Well, no. Today's the day it all started. Today in 1979, Wayne Gretzky made his NHL debut with the Edmonton Oilers. His trade to the city of Los Angeles did more to affect the ripple of a sport than maybe any other singular transaction that we can think of in sports history, maybe. I mean, there's an argument to be made.
Yes, there is.
The cynical person could say, well, the NHL is still a distant fourth in any conversation about your four major sports. So how did it change everything? There are hockey teams in Florida. There are hockey teams in all over California. There are hockey teams in Texas,
Las Vegas,
Nashville, and Las Vegas. That's what Wayne Gretzky coming to LA did.
So here's what's happened. Anze Kopitar is the best player on the Kings right now. Mm-hmm. And he announced his retirement before the season. He's got 20 straight seasons with the Kings as their not 20 as the captain, but 20 seasons and he is their captain. And the argument becomes, is he the greatest King of all time? And I understand there are people who never saw Gretzky play as a King, but I'm not comfortable with any conversation about greatest without making Gretzky the answer. Gretzky, as I call him. Gretzky's the answer.
Well,
that'll always be for me.
The great one is right there. So if we're going to get to the greatest, we probably should go with the guy whose nickname is the greatest.
So but the reason that I say it is because of what you just said.
The career.
We're talking about San Jose Sharks, Anaheim Ducks, Phoenix Coyotes, and I'm going to give it Las Vegas Knights. The Knights, I was on their pregame show earlier this week because they played the Kings, and I said it. You have a franchise because of Wayne Gretzky, essentially. It is the popularity with which Gretzky elevated Los Angeles from a hockey perspective, bringing them to the Cup final in '93. Thank you for saying it. Gretzky's the greatest of just.
Yeah, it would be like making an argument that Mark Eaton was the greatest Cleveland Cavalier of all time. Like, Look, I loved Mark Eaton and I loved Mark Price and I loved, there are a lot of great players, I guess, came from Cleveland, but LeBron James, this is the correct answer. And it's not Kyrie Irving who even hit the shot that gave, but it's LeBron James.
That's it.
Sorry.
It's just it.
How about this? Unless you're the Lakers, the greatest player that ever played for your franchise is definitely LeBron James. And it might be for the Lakers too, but there are these two other dudes who do have to enter the conversation.
And that is fine.
Because Shaquille O'Neal played for the Lakers as well. Anyway,
I love that.
We will have to have a city of LA unfolding in front of me when we go to crypto sometime together.
That's
podcast.
That is happening. Is happening.
Let's see. Today, 1985. And I know that you're going to absolutely know exactly. Look at it this way. I'm just going to show you something.
I can't wait.
And you will hear it. Okay? Now, this doesn't work again if you're on a podcast.
Sorry.
This helps more on YouTube. But I'm going to show you something and you're going to hear it. And if you're around my age, if you saw this, you will hear it as soon as I show it to you.
No. Yes.
Today in 1985, I'm not saying it's one of the most iconic moments in the history of television. Television's had a lot of iconic moments. But to me, growing up in 1985, I am 10 years old when Heathcliff Huxtable walked down the stairs to The Nighttime is the Right Time by Ray Charles, lip syncing it on what I think is the single most iconic Cosby Show moment there was. And luckily, for the sake of this picture, Bill Cosby does not appear in it.
It's incredible. It's incredible that this photo is bringing me right there as well, Damon. And I was looking through and I'm saying, where's Bill? But that's what also makes it beautiful.
But you can hear it. Can't you hear this scene?
Yes.
I mean, what made this emblazon itself in my lifetime was I'm 10 years old. And, we watched the Cosby Show with my mom, my dad, and my little sister. We all got up and got on the stairs and started singing the song when that happened.
It's so great. So great. It goes to show you what a sitcom can do. And I understand, and today's different, right? I mean, because today the amount of choices that you have, it's tough to define what a sitcom is because you used to be beholden to what was on network television. Yeah. And that's just not the case anymore. So the world is not all watching something anymore the way that it used to. And that's what makes that so special.
This is what makes the NFL king of all kings of all kings of all kings, because that is the one thing we collectively all watch. And we don't watch it on replay. We don't wait to watch our favorite Niner game on Tuesday because then I'll be able to sneak it in. No. It's our last live communal event, maybe even as a society. That's why the NFL is absolutely king. And look, when it comes to the Cosby Show, you absolutely have to separate the art from the artist. But this absolutely needs to be said from Johnny Dunn. Man, that Cosby Show can sure put you to sleep. Oh, Johnny. Mwah. Way to stick the landing. Hey,
well
he
written.
deserves it. He
well written. Well written.
He was also, again, the host of Picture Pages. It's like Michael Jackson. I'm always going to love a little bit of Michael Jackson. I'm always going to love a little bit of Bill Cosby. The rest of the story is enough to turn you off.
Yeah, they won't be babysitting. Okay, fine.
Not babysitting.
That's it.
Especially Michael. Michael.
Yeah, particularly.
So again, I should have brought this picture up too, because I think it would have been appreciated. And we don't talk music much here, but since that Cosby Show moment was such an iconic moment of my show, we have to thank today for an iconic moment of what I'm just going to call any single guy my age who is a heterosexual. This absolutely got bookmarked in your libido. Did you grow up straight? Are you about 50 years old? Then you know when Tawny Katane started flipping on white Jaguars in White Snakes, here I go again.
Oh, man. Something
changed. Maybe it was your first redhead. Maybe, I don't know, but something changed. Like when what are moments where you find out in life, are you gay? Are you not gay? How is your sexuality going to go? If it's all a meter and you never know where the needle is going to land, the first time you saw White Snakes, here I go again on my own, was a big tell. That's a big moment.
Big tell for the needle. Yeah.
Big tell for the needle. Today in 1987, the number one hit in America was Here I Go Again on My Own by Whitesnake. And Tawny, wherever you are,
thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. You want to know when I found out my son Jack is definitely not gay?
Let's go.
Did I tell you about that? We were watching Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
Oh, is this a Jessica Rabbit?
The minute Jessica comes from behind the curtain, my son goes, "Who's that?"
Done. Bingo.
Done. We know everything we need to know, don't we?
That's it. Hey, hon.
Done.
I got it. I got the answer.
Done. There it is. So, Ozzy's already been on like 3 dates, so we know him too. He's just crushing it. Anyway, today is a sad day here in San Francisco radio history. Today in 2022, KGO became the 810 The Spread. You want to talk about sad moments, and I don't even know if it is that anymore. I haven't turned on the radio in a real long time in San Francisco, and neither has anybody apparently. But today's the day KGO became not KGO, which, the thing about the Rubicon is there is no crossing it twice. And that felt like a cross the Rubicon moment in the history of Bay Area radio when KGO left. And you know more, as much about this as I do.
Oh, and I had two best friends that worked there too. There were Jason Nathanson and Jonathan Service, both worked there and did a ton. And they hit me with that news when it first crossed the line. And it was like a tear rolls down the cheek moment for sure.
Yeah. Michelle Haberman, who I said we would not be hearing from this week based on her Oregon biases, but she will say RIP Ducks. That's what I want. I want RIP Ducks this weekend. Everyone, thank you so much for being a part of today's show. Sammy, I'm so happy you were able to slip in. And the reasons that prevented you from joining the beginning of the show, I'm even happier for those. I really, really am. Radio in Los Angeles, apparently still thriving.
Yeah.
If you don't believe me, ask the director of marketing for Kings postgame and see if a sponsorship opportunity might be right for you.
It's so true. And Damon, thank you. You're a huge part of this story, and ESPN LA is certainly, I'm excited. They're a huge part of my future. And frankly, we will be talking so much more about this and what Los Angeles could mean for your future.
Hey, you know what? Tell Chris Morales I said hi.
That is for sure. I will kiss him on the cheek for you.
There. All right, everybody. Thank you very much for tuning in. And please do remember, no matter where you are, no matter where you go, no matter what you do, we are going to be back here for the 49ers game. Oh, I was asked earlier in the chat. It was brought up. Why did the time move? This became such a big game that it moved out of the morning window to the national window and bumped what would have been like Panthers Texans or something bad.
I thought it was a better game. I thought it was a slightly better game. It was enough that I said, yeah, that's smart.
Yeah. Do it. Baker. It's too bad we don't get the Baker Mayfield, Nick Bosa angle going on there. All that Ohio.
I told you it was my second favorite. It was my second favorite play of last season. All of it. My number one play was Lamar Jackson to Likely on the scramble, almost out of bounds, hitting him in the back of the end zone.
Yes.
Number two was Bosa and Baker dancing to the sideline together as Baker completes a fourth down.
That's a nice way of saying it. Nick Bosa got stiff-armed by Baker Mayfield right there. Anyways, thank you very, very much for watching. Join me for the live watch party at 1:25 West Coast time. The studio will be up soon. Hit like, subscribe, and notify so you don't miss a thing. Do it for Sammy's channel as well. Thank you. And please do remember that sports don't build character. They reveal it. And like that, they're gone.